Happy Saturday. How are we all today? Sun's a little bit better. Life's improving, I feel, for everybody, hopefully. All getting a bit better in it. Not so much doom and gloom. We like this a lot. We do. So, how did you get on with my weird and wonderful chopped up twisted thing? That one. I got the impression it was a bit scary. Okay. Doesn't have to be, as I've said before, it's just one little thing at a time. If you think if you thought of a whole quilt in one go, it could really be daunting and put you off. Think of things one little bit at a time, so a square surrounded. Don't have to do 4, do 1, chop it, put it back together, it will look lovely. Things don't have to be complicated. I know I sort of go over the top extreme, but I'm very aware that this isn't needed and doesn't have to be. So those of you that have had a go, well done. Hopefully a few others will. As I say, do it big. It doesn't have to be tiny, all right? Just remember to allow for your seam allowances. So, Saturday, I did promise you a bit of applique, because we've not done a lot of applique, have we? And I thought, well, do you know what? We'll do something that for me is really quite different. And I wanted to use what I already had. And bearing in mind, I'm running out of my tie colour. So I wanted to make use of what had gone before. So back at block number 2, we had 3. And we've used one of them since, or at least I've used one of them in my crazy patchwork as we came along. So I thought I'm going to use the other one up. Yeah. But it wasn't big enough to do anything as such on. So I had to make... I was going to use it as my black background block, so I had to make it a bit bigger. So I did this thing, and then I needed something to applique on top that would stand out and would look good. Well, you all know me, I like weird and wonderful and a bit different, but I've actually gone very sort of more traditional, although a little bit wonky. There we go. So in the centre, you can see that I've got my excess block. Around the outside edge, I've just added on anything I had, and then I've appliqued hearts. Doesn't really matter which way up you put this one. Hopefully they stand out quite nicely on there, I thought. A simple shape. I've used the same colour as I used for the circle appliques that I'd done before, so that it ties them all together again. And this is really out of my comfort zone. I don't normally do things like hearts. I think most of you realise that. But I thought, well, no, I will have a little play. And it could be simple for you. It could be big. You could do something completely different of your own, yeah? Take it as another one of the blocks that you can do that you love, all right? So, applique. I did think about doing Rose of Sharon, which is quite a traditional block. Starts in the centre, comes out in 4 buds normally each side, each corner I should say. And I thought, well, isn't that going to show up? And it is my lovely, and I wanted to utilise the block, as I say, because it's got the pale blue in that I'm running out of rapidly. I might just squidge through another block or so, and that'll be about it on them. So then I'm going to have to sort of look at changing colours and tact and things. Just for the last few blocks for my, as I say, I'm going to make 3 at the minute, tops of 9 squares each. So I need to eke mine out a bit, or change the way the last one's looking a bit. All right, so what I might do is go to this dark blue that's in the 3 applique and put them together and sort of work on that. We'll see. Design development as we go. Yeah. So I've heavily stitched the outline on that in a real strong yellow so that they stand out. Hopefully you can see that there. Yeah. But it's your choice. You could layer them up. You could do a formal pattern with them. You could just do one big heart. You could do it any colour you want. You could layer them different shapes, different fabrics, plain background. Totally up to you. Okay. So go for it. I think hearts actually is also quite a nice one at the minute with the way things are going. As I say, it's out of my normal comfort zone, but I think, you know what, it's actually quite poignant perhaps at the minute. All right, so that's your next challenge. Okay, a bit of applique. Now I use Bondaweb on that. I do like Bondaweb. I know not everybody gets on with Bondaweb, and I've said it before. Let me just get me thingy out of the gods. Hold on, and I'll show you what I keep mine in. See, Bondaweb is fabulous, I think, because actually it's still quite supple. There's other makes out there that are really heavy duty and stick everything to, and that's great on occasion, but you know what, it changes the feel of the fabric and the quilt, and to me that is just too heavy. So long as you keep your Bondaweb dry and rolled, if you're buying it by the metre, you shouldn't ever have an issue with it. So I've got, look, it's a knitting needle case. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I can't even put it back together. Oh, what's it like? There we go. And when I buy my Bondaweb, I put it in there. Keeps it dry, keeps it from creasing. What causes your Bondaweb to have issues is if it gets folded where it shouldn't be folded, and it sort of comes apart, doesn't it? Or if it gets damp, it will come apart. Which is still usable, but a real pain in the bottom, isn't it? A real pain. I was going to say posterior, but it all came out wrong there. But there we go. So I do prefer my Bondaweb, I have to say, but I've got ways around it because it's nice and flexible. I could have done that needle turn, but I didn't have the energy or the strength, to be honest. That would have taken quite a bit doing. The circles I've done have been all nicely hand done, that they're standalone, as it were, but I thought, no, we're going to go Bondaweb and a nice bit of zigzag around that one. So that was quite cool. I have already done the next square, except I messed it up. Ah. Do you know when you're doing things quite late and you think, oh, I just get, I shouldn't have. I went and put two things around the wrong way, two bits around the wrong way, and then put the wrong bit around the wrong way again. So I've got unpicking to do later today. More haste, less speed. See, I was getting all clever. I thought I'll get ahead with this one because I've been in my big book again and having a little look. I thought, oh, that's a nice one. But it has to be laid out in a certain way or it really won't work in the colours that I've done. So, do as Abby says, not as Abby does. Yeah, take your time, get it right first time. So I shall rearrange that one. Now, normally we have every 2 days, don't we? Because I'm going to have Monday off, I will show you that block tomorrow. Okay, so we have a little bit of change. So we've got this one for today. Okay, and then we'll have a pieced block tomorrow, which is actually quite fun if you get your layout right. It's like all of the blocks, depending how you put your fabrics. You can make them a completely different visual each time. But this one's quite clever. I quite like it. So we'll have a go at that in the morning when I've unpicked it later. In fact, I'll do that now and then it's done, isn't it? Before I do anything else for the day. That'd be good. Right, so what else is new? Tom's asleep just below you here. You can't see this. He's fast kept. Lots of squeaks when I came in this morning. He was outside there waiting for me. He was ever so sweet. He's a little darling. So what else is new? What else is new? Oh, I've brought out George Coy for you to have a little look at. Now, George is a design that I have done, well, I did many years ago, and he features in quite a few of my things. He's been appliqued, he's been painted, he's been printed, he's been beaded. He's just one of those designs that I particularly love. I do like Coy. I've got a big pond full of them. I sell templates that are Coy that you can do if you would want. I've also got a pattern for him. This particular one, the background that you're looking at, has actually been done on an embellishing machine. So instead of a sewing machine, it's an embellishing with lots of needles that go up and down, no threads, and it mashes fibres into like a felt. Some people call it felting machines, whatever you know, whatever does the job for you, as it were. This one's been done onto a thin felt already. Now, I don't know if you can see this. I think I might have to take him down and show him up close. Let me move the coffee. Alright, let's have the pins out and show you a bit more detail of George. George with a J, of course, as opposed to George with a G, because we can. Right, there we are. So, there he is. Now, if you look at his tails, his fins and all the rest of it, they are all individual little beads that I've sat and spent hours doing. Paul thinks I'm off my head when I start doing things like that. His body, so this bit here, is sequin waist. So where they, or I think some people call it punchinella, where it's, you get sheets of it with all holes in, don't you? Let me, yeah, you can't see them. Yeah, put in there. So lots of holes, but he's had what they used to call friendly plastic. Now I'm not sure if you can still get that, which were sheets of plastic that were malleable, so you used to warm them up and you could stretch them and do all sorts, and I pushed them through the sequin waist to get the colour. So if, you know, coming up close folks, so you can see the body. All right, so that's sequin waist with plastic push through, and then everything else are all individual beads. Okay, the background, as I was saying, is done on an embellishing machine. Now if I show you the back, other than me weird stitching, but you can see how the different fibres have been forced through the felt. Okay, so that's literally wools and threads and maybe a bit of fabrics, thin voiles and such like, to get all sorts of different textures going on. Okay, so that's George. As I say, George is a pattern. He's also templates, so you can use him for whatever you want. Embellishing machines, just so as you're all aware, I've got half a dozen of them. I run classes with them, so we quite often here in the cupboard, we'll have an embellishing day, so we get all the wool rovings, all this lovely stuff, and instead of the hand felting where you do sort of 3D, we do the flatter. We do pictures and sunflowers and all sorts of things. So there are, as I say, 6 embellishing machines here that I can run classes with. I can always bring them to you if you don't want to come to me when we're all up and running. So just a thought I'm placing there for you all. Okay, now back to hearts. I've just suddenly realised I put them here in front of me. Look, Andy's been at it again. I've got 3 lots of hearts there. So you've got curved hearts, which is what I've used on there. So the bottom point goes out as a curve. He's got fat ones. What has he called them? Nested. He's just called them nested hearts. Actually, you can probably see the shape better there. Can you? So they're like nice fat hearts. And then what's this one? These are long hearts. Okay. So again, they're all nested, so you've got a whole set of them in there. So if anybody's interested in those, as I say, I've got some stock here, plus I can always get from Andy, or he can post it to you, not an issue. So if you fancy a set of hearts, if you're going to make far more use of them than I probably will, I can pop those into the recipe. I'm going to put them onto my website shop in a minute. Okay, so they'll be there for you if you would like. So there we are. That's your one for today. An applique of your own design, whatever you fancy, onto a background, which could be one piece or it could be lots of pieces put together, or as I've used, my spare block from number 2. Okay, our block number 2. Got a nice pile going here. I'm gonna have to start putting things together, I think, soon. Oh, it's gonna be exciting. I'll give you a quick rundown on how to put them together when I get to that point. All right. Okay, so what else do we need to know? Is everybody all well? I hope we are. How are you all doing your exercises? Are you all running around the garden? I've already been around seeing the fish today, fed the fish, had a quick little hoglet look. Nothing out there that we shouldn't be out there that I can see, which is good. Have a little walk up the road, shout at Mum down the garden. That'd be good, because she's just up there a bit. So I can stand and shout. That's always good. What else? Ooh, tidy. Do you know what? I brought a new washer for the floor, because I've realised, I said the other day, Tom came in, didn't he, with his wet feet, and he went on the floor and over with these great big muddy paws, and I'm like, I'm there washing and cleaning it, and I'm like, why am I doing this when I could have a nice long do? So I bought a do. It's very exciting. I can wash the floor really quickly now. Why did I never think of that before? Duh, you know. Sometimes we're just not very clever in this life, are we? There we go. So tidy. Exercise. Hello to all your friends. All right. So there you go. Off and have a lovely Saturday, whatever you're doing for your Saturday. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. All right. Nice and early. Have a lovely day. Be lovely.